the governor of Edo State. It has been congratulations all around. The president has issued a congratulatory message that was put out by his his spokesperson, Bayo Ononuga. And I guess there will be other messages about it. Now, our guest this morning is Andrew Mwanta. Mr. Mwanta is a special advisor to the Edo State Governor on legal matters. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming on the program.
Yeah, good morning, Yuri. It's a pleasure to be on your program this morning.
All right, then.
Good morning to Nigerians at home.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay, just before we start, we have a report inside here. We'll play that report, we'll watch it together, and then I'll come to you.
The Apex Court found no reason to set aside a concurrent judgment of both the Court of Appeal and the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which returned Ogbevolo of the All Progressives Congress APC as the valid winner of the governorship election. It held that the appellant failed to adduce credible and admissible evidence to substantiate his claim that the election was marked by irregularities that included overvoting and substantial non-compliance with provisions of the Electoral Act. Likewise, it held that the appellant failed to call relevant witnesses to demonstrate some of the evidences he tendered in support of his case, especially the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS machines. Some of the proof of evidence which were tendered from the bar were merely dumped on the tribunal without establishing alleged non-compliance in 432 out of the total of 4,519 polling units in the state. The appellant did not satisfactorily discharge the burden of proof placed on him by law. This was the lead judgment of the court, agreed by other members of the panel. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, then. So that's the report, a short one. There's precious little to say. It was a unanimous decision. Okay, Mr. Mwanta, maybe I should get your reaction to this. It's like they should have let it go, but they didn't. And so now, sorry for my casual language, they've come for a slam dunk, so to speak, because the court has now said that, sorry, you guys just didn't satisfy all of the conditions. Give me your own. One thing that sort of stood out to me was when the lordships observed that even the evidence you brought, some of the exhibits, like the BVAS machine, nobody even told us that this is how it works. And this is the reason for our complaint. Look at how it is not working the way it's supposed to be working. So the lordships decided that this is little more than a dumping of stuff on the court. But your general reaction, please.
Thank you. As a lawyer, I will speak as such because this is the rule of law in action. And as we always say as practitioners of the profession, judges are not Santa Clauses. It is the way you present your case, that is how they will apply the law. And you have a long line of authorities that says you are sat must prove. And as such, just as you have noted, the PDP and Aswe Hudalo, who are the lower tribunal, were the petitioners at the Court of Appeal, the appellants, and at the Supreme Court yesterday, also the appellants. The court held, and rightly so, that they failed to prove the two grounds of their petition, namely the allegations of non-compliance with the Electoral Act as it relates to recording of sensitive materials, because that was the allegation, that in about 395 polling units, the electoral materials were not properly recorded. And of course, they also brought up this issue of overvoting. And on that, the court said, you don't dump BVAS machines on the court without leading oral evidence. And the conclusion of the court was to the effect that they failed to, that's the appellants failed to tender and adduce not just credible evidence, but admissible credible evidence. And as such, the tribunal was right in dismissing the petition, and the Court of Appeal was also right in dismissing the appeal. And the summary of the case is that they failed to establish their case. They failed because the onus was them as petitioners to establish the issue of non-compliance and the issue of overvoting. You know, we are talking of over 5,000 polling units, and we called just a little above 4 witnesses. They just called 4 witnesses because the 5th witness was discredited by the tribunal because the person did not participate in the election and does not even meet the criteria set by the Electoral Act. So for us, it is victory for democracy, victory for the rule of law, and victory for good governance, because that's exactly what the governor of this state is doing. And just as the governor said, he's still extending an olive branch to his brother, Aswe Ighodalo, who is from Edo Central Senatorial District, because the duty of ensuring that we have a new Edo is a collective one. It's not the governor's duty alone, but it's the duty of everybody, including members of Ighodalo's party. And we are still saying Edo belongs to all of us. Senator Mono Okpebholo has been affirmed as a man who has a mandate to govern the state, and it needs everybody, including those in the opposition. We expect the opposition to be more alive to their responsibility now. We are in government. We expect them to tell us those things we should hear from opposition. The tribunal, the Court of Appeal, those times, they used it as a tool of distracting the governor. Now that the Apex Court has spoken, which is a last bus stop, we expect good governance, which Edo people are currently having, because that is what the governor is doing. He has his Shine agenda, this Project Shine is a 5-point agenda, and security is at top. Benin City, Edo State is very safe. You see the way the governor has dealt with the problem of cultism and kidnapping. With these mandates restored yesterday, with this mandate reaffirmed yesterday, the governor will now be more focused in ensuring that Edo people get the best under the present APC government of Edo State.
Well, you mentioned that I think the governor, has extended a hand of friendship. Even the president, in his message, so advised. His opponent from the PDP, Aswe, Mr. Ighodalo, he has made his comment, and you've heard it already, of course. He is saying that whereas he's constrained, he doesn't have any option but to accept this final decision. He didn't feel that justice was served. I know, opposition being what it is, do you have any idea how they could have arrived at such a conclusion, given that the judgments of their lordships was reasoned? It was reasoned. It wasn't just, you don't need to know why we're thinking this way. So for him to now still say that, there has been a judgment, but I think he was querying whether or not justice had been delivered.
I have to be very frank here, because there was a pre-election case they filed. They were trying initially to disqualify the governor, but what they didn't know that, because the governor had 2 different affidavits. I think one trying to regularize a mistake in his INEC, that's his card issued by INEC, and I think one of his qualifications, I think his primary school living certificate, where his name was not properly spelled. Okay. So before the election, and long before time, the governor was able to regularize this thing. We went to the Supreme Court, we filed a deed of regularization. We didn't just stop there, we also gazetted it in the Federal Government Gazette. We went to the Ministry of Information. We did all of that. That was one of the grounds they wanted to put in their petition. But luckily, before the election, of course, when they tried disqualifying the governor, the matter was before the FCT High Court, and a decision was made that the names of the governor were well regularized and gazetted, including that little mistake in his qualification. So those issues were resolved. So initially, the plan was that they would have made that a ground of a petition. When that ground was resolved by the FCT High Court on the basis of the doctrine of res judicata, they had no petition. Because you cannot prove overvoting by dumping beavers machines, right? You cannot prove non-compliance. You are challenging results of over 390-something polling units. You call only 4 polling unit agents. I mean, for me, that was not smart, right? It was a no-brainer for them not to have even filed that petition. It was like a beautiful Ferrari without an engine. On what basis were they? The courts are not, miracle workers, right? It's not in the time of the Bible when you could use 3, or rather 4 breads, 5 loaves of bread and 3 fishes to feed 5,000 persons. They were expecting a miracle. And the Supreme Court was not so created as a miracle working agency of government or organ of government. So what were they expecting? There was really nothing before the court for which the court would have granted them a decision. And I also say that it was a petition that was riddled with contradictions. In one breath, they said that the tribunal should declare the election as invalid, but in another breath, they were also asking the court to declare them as winners. They were not even asking for a rerun, but they were saying the court should declare them as winners. So I wonder what they were thinking. And I can also give you an idea of what I know, as a matter of fact.
Okay,
because at the tribunal, I have some of my friends who are lawyers who prepared that petition, because initially they were asking for a review. So the idea of filing the petition came as an afterthought, a part of the disqualification on account of the governor's qualification that I said the FCT had ruled on. So these same lawyers were not engaged when they were now going into trial. They put them and they refused to pay them. So the people who went to argue that thing at the tribunal were not prepared. They were not the ones that prepared that petition. Uncle Yori, you are a layman, but I ask you, if you want to prove something, you must supply credible evidence. How will you drop Beaver's machine? You didn't put these machines, these are real evidence, you didn't put them on. So what were you expecting? That the tribunal will stare at them and give a decision? I mean, that was not smart. It was not smart. So also Rodalo as a lawyer, I may be disappointed in his reasoning, but there's a senatorial election. It's just that the qualification window is over. In 2027, they should try. Those central, the governor was a senator there. You must start from there. The reason why they lost that election is simple, because the Supreme Court has resolved the how question. The why question was PDP was enmeshed in deep crisis. He had about 10 aspirants that were with him. None of them were with him. Virtually all those people who contested against him are now in the APC. Why? Because Obaseki imposed him. He got his voters card before the primaries. So when you talk of politics, you don't jump into a race unprepared. They were not prepared for that election, and that is why they lost, because there was crisis in their party, and there's still crisis in PDP. In Edo State, they have two factions. One of the faction congratulated us, headed by Mr. Nusa, Ogeva. The other man, who is the caretaker chairman, in trying to comment, said he had joy in his heart. As a baby, it's everywhere. Was so happy in his heart yesterday, because for him the burden has reduced, the burden has lightened. Because coming to court was not an easy thing for them, but they were distracting us. But we are happy that the Supreme Court has given a decision, and that decision has affirmed the mandate Edo people gave to Senator Mondo Okpebholo, which, as I earlier noted, he's delivering on.
So either the PDP or any other party that wants to be in opposition has to wait, has to wait now for Governor Okpebholo. Yes, for him to finish his term. That is, if he's not
his
even
first term.
The first term was exactly, that would be his first term. Then they can come back. But seriously speaking, now that all the legal stuff, as the president was observing in his own message, all of the legal stuff has now been handled. Hurdles, the president called it, he has surmounted all of them. He can now get down to the business of governance. And as you have said, he has invited other people, everybody, to join hands. But I wanted to ask, was it something of a distraction? The fact that, quote unquote, the sort of Damocles was dangling over the head of the executive in Edo State all the while before this now pronouncement clearing the way?
Indeed, it may have been a slight distraction, but not in the sense total, because the governor did not allow the matter in the tribunal to distract him.
Okay. First
and foremost, he was not even attending to most of those courts. He never attended court sitting once, but his deputy was, right? And if you look at the constitution, the deputy governor does not have a day-to-day function in government. His duties are slightly statutory, unlike in the case of a governor that as the chief security officer of the state, and because as the person who has been given a mandate to govern the state, he needed to be on his duty at every given point in time. The Court of Appeal case, he didn't travel, he was in Benin. It was only for the Supreme Court he came to Abuja. So if you ask me, the man has stayed focused. You look at all the sectors, the issue of security, he's dealing with it headlong. The problem of cultism, he has dealt with kidnapping. You look at the health sector, a whole lot is happening there, agricultural sector. Just recently, he has issued a billion naira for bursary for students in our tertiary institutions. The other day, market women were giving a billion naira, loan facility. So the man is doing what Edo people voted him to do. Our flyover along Ibuba Hill is almost, it will be ready next year. And we have the second one at Upper Adiso along Sapler Road. So the man is not aligned, did not allow that case to distract him. But now that the Supreme Court has given its final verdict, it therefore means that the governor's hands are strengthened. This has further strengthened his hand that he has a mandate to work for Edo people, and that's what he will continue to do. In less than 8 months, he has transformed all the sectors of our economy. Is it the educational sector? Our state university got a paltry 41 million under Obaseki. That money was not coming, but the governor had to increase his subvention to 500 million. Agriculture had just 5 billion in the past. He's giving more than 70 billion to agriculture. We are talking of FAP settlements, not the big man agriculture Obaseki was doing. They gave out virtually all the arable lands to business partners who were not using those lands, but they were trying to keep these properties for future estates and what have you. So we have a governor that has given a human face to governance, and that is what he will do for the next 3 years and months that he will be there till 2028 when he will be going for re-election. And I assure Nigerians that this is one governor that talks less but works more. And people are feeling the impact. Come to Edo State, the people are happy. The people are satisfied with his pace of governance. It's not one governor that stays in his office. He's always out supervising projects. The entire state has become a construction site. There's hardly any sector he has not touched. And his promise is every local government will feel the impact of governance. And that is what he's doing.
As you were speaking about that, I just recall that some time ago, that was before this judgment, had been delivered. I had seen a material coming out of Edo State of the work that the governor was doing in terms of infrastructure for schools, secondary schools that were unbelievably decrepit, had been sort of finished into brand new schools. So that was an indication of the kind of work that was ongoing, even as this important matter was also in the works.
Absolutely, and that's what the governor has decided, because before now, Obaseki called his educational policy Edo Best. I served in that government, but it was a complete fraud. There was a particular consultant, I was a member of the Asset Education Committee. You pay a consultant for bringing laptops for children on a monthly basis, 195 million as a consultant to do what? You have a Ministry of Education, you have the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, you have the Technical and Vocational Education Board, you have the Senior Secondary Education. What were these people doing? But you will pay a consultant 195 million. That was the same thing they did with the Stola Obasanjo Hospital. By the time we came up with our report, we discovered that they paid over 900 million to a consultant for a project a hospital that is yet to be complete. So it was a government that was born in fraud, living in fraud, and left fraud, which this government is now trying to clean. It's a very big job. Road contracts that Obaseki awarded, it was going over 100 billion, precisely 117 billion to contractors. After they lost that election in September, they started awarding contracts to their cronies. Contracts that even some of the BOQs were not ready. So we had one government that was reputed for wanting state capture. But we're happy that we have a government that is taking back our state. And that is why when he said he will ensure that the president gets about 2.5 million votes come 2027, he knew what he was saying. Because this man is touching every community in Edo State. He's bringing real governance, development to the various communities in Edo State. So that he's not saying that after 4 years, he's saying before 2027, Edo people will have reasons to vote for his party, the APC, because he has made APC a performing party in Edo State.
In terms of this, especially the assurance of the governor that he was going to work for votes for the president when the time comes, I was going to ask, how do the good people of Edo State take this decision? I mean, what was it like? Was it joyfully received, or was it quietly received in the sense that they had always known it was going to come to this? What was your personal impression?
Okay, you are referring to the judgment of yesterday, the Supreme Court judgment of yesterday.
Yes, when the news hit.
It was well received. I got loads of calls. Even in my phone, I'm still struggling with messages across the state. There's wide jubilation. And the governor is going to do a roadshow across the TVC. I mean, he will start with Benin City today, then maybe subsequently others in the 12 districts on a thank you visit. This one governor, when he comes out inspecting roads, you see crowds, hordes of people coming out because the man is working with the people. It's called practical governance. I'll give you a simple example. Remember, Obaseki refused to swear in 3 judges. When this governor came in his inaugural speech, he made that promise that he was going to swear them in. He didn't nominate them as judges. Obaseki did. But after Obaseki nominated them, he refused to swear them in. He swore them in within 1 month of coming into office. The Customary Court of Appeal, which is one of those courts at the same level with the High Court, Obaseki, the building of that court, he donated it to a federal government organ. That is to say, he wanted to kill that court. But this governor already has introduced an executive bill which will be presented to the House of Assembly because customary courts are the courts that are closest to the people. So when you have a court like that and you don't have an appellate court, it means that you don't want justice to get to the people. So the governor is bringing back those courts. So there's a whole lot he's doing. The courts across sectors. I mentioned what we have done with security. I mentioned what we have done with education and agriculture. And again, he wants Edo people to know that he's their governor. He has that servant leader approach to governance. The people see their governor, they believe their governor, and with this decision of yesterday by the apex court of the land, the governor's hands are further strengthened to continue to deliver the dividends of democracy. And importantly too, we must thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the support he has been giving us. Because in terms of our statutory allocations, we get what is required to bring development to our people. There are some external fundings that come in. The governor has gotten so much of support. Even the federal government intervention on the Benin-Auchi road is visible before was a death trap. With the support of Mr. President, by the time that road is complete, it will now complement what we are expecting from that coastal road that will start from Lagos and end in Calabar. This is one government that has given human face to governance. And that is why Asiwaju come 2027 will get the support of Edo people.
All right then. Mr. Joshua in Irewolede, Ogun State. Maybe I put the day. Maybe it's Irewole, Ogun State. Good morning to you, sir.
Happy weekend to you.
Same to you.
I want to congratulate the governor and the entire people of Edo State. I will just advise the governor to remain focused. I'm saying that our governor is going to be very good because he's a grassroots man. And he should not be bothered about, he should not be distracted by criticisms. If there is a popular Edo language that is common to his people, he should actually be speaking to them in that language. He should not bother himself with all this finesse of English language and all that. I want the man to remain a grassroots person. I expect to see a governor that will perform wonders. And if you please guard one thing, he should do everything to maintain peace with Oshomole. They should work together. You know, this area is where they often get derailed, you know, as governor. He has no reason to fight with anybody, whether Godfather or... You see, in politics, there's always a mentor. Whatever it is, they can find a way to work together. My take on this judgment is this. Going to 2027, the language is always there for users to classify Supreme Court judgments in languages that are not professional. Some of them will say Supreme Court judges are these and all that, and then label the governor Supreme Court governor because they lost the election. You see, I don't know the body that is responsible for this, but they need to check politicians. If you went to court, there were concurrent judgments from tribunal to the appeal court. You then went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court should manufacture evidence for you or what? Then you now lose the case in Supreme Court. You now start writing something. This is the transversity of justice. We have, you see, our politicians should start behaving like adults and train themselves the way they talk to the public. Congratulations again to those state people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua, for calling in on that. By the way, since we're in the legal realm, so to speak, in our conversation, any reforms in the works in Edo State for the judiciary, the justice system, or is it fine the way it is?
Yeah, thank you. The governor was trying to be careful not to start some of the reforms midway because you are in court, so that people don't think you are trying to curry the favor of the judiciary. So there's a whole lot. I just mentioned the customary courts of appeal. The bill is ready. The governor just wanted the Supreme Court to be through with this before he starts some of those reforms, because we don't want a situation where we have only one court calling the shots. The drafters of our constitution has made it possible for us to have, at the level of the High Court, certain courts that are courts of coordinate jurisdiction, namely the High Court and the Customary Court of Appeal. As I noted, that court, for reasons which, of course, at the time were political, was scrapped, and it created a gap in the customary justice architecture. So that's one area the governor wants to reform. And by the time we are done with the reforms, I mean, in terms of the infrastructural works that will go into it, because Obaseki, as I said earlier, donated a building of the entire complex of that court to a federal government agency because he didn't want that organ to exist. But the governor, because he believes in a new Edo, that's his mantra, a new Edo has risen. So whatever it is that was there, the Edo line that Obaseki buried, the governor has brought back it as a new Edo line. Nigerians cannot have a feel of that legacy of Samuel Ogbomudia in the 70s through the 80s, 90s, until when it was finally buried by the Obaseki administration. The governor has brought back that transport company so that people can now enter Edo line from Lagos to Benin, from Benin to Abuja. Just name it. All the routes, the governor is bringing those routes back. So this is one governor that wants to give all the sectors, not just the justice sector, but all the sectors equal attention. And for his relationship with Ushomole, I was at the governor's residence yesterday when our leader, Senator Adams Ushomole, came in. I was one of those who ushered him in. They have a very good rapport. And Ushomole's son is a member of his cabinet. He's our health commissioner. And that young man is doing wonders in his ministry.
Okay. Elder David, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sir Yori.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. The victory of Obaholo in Edo State is a victory for democracy. A victory for everybody in Edo State. We expected it. A victory for the traditional rulers, for the youth, for the adults, for the elderly. And it's a victory for me from Edo State. And we thank God for one thing, that any time, why it takes any time PDP is ruling in Edo State, we're always very backward. And these are facts. When Oshimole come in, that is the last we see about democracy. Obasanjo has come in now for just only 3 months. He have override what Obaseki have done for a long time. Do you know why? Because Obaseki did not start politics from grassroots. He have started politics from grassroots. He could have known what it is, but it is the system of PDP introduced. Anyway, we thank God for everything.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, Elder David. As you can see, Andrew, people are happy, at least those that are of Edo State origin, and I'm sure there are many more that haven't called in. Maybe we'll get the calls when we come back from break. It will be interesting to hear what the good people of Edo State think about this, that we're now down to strictly business. Oftentimes, governance is a matter of juggling some balls. You have to be juggling the administrative one. You also have to be juggling the legal one. But now they can concentrate, as you said. Nobody, well, I'm being told that there's a Mr. Adekunle on the line. Good morning, Mr. Adekunle. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
And good morning to your guests.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, on the discussion on the table about the governor of Edo. Anyway, let me first congratulate Mr. Governor for the victory, because Edo people have testified that they have a performing governor. So we have to congratulate the people too. Then number 2, the PDP candidates. I read his comments about the judgment, but it beats my imagination, blaming the courts for not delivering that judgment in his favor. And he has refused to blame his lawyers, his defense counsel, that refuses to produce a cogent evidence that will make him win that case in court. I think that there should be a kind of punishment for people like this. When the court has delivered a judgment right to the Supreme Court, and you are even the one that took the case to court, that challenged somebody in court, and the court has not been delivered in your favor, you now went around to say the judges are biased. I think there is supposed to be a punishment for anybody that makes that comment.
All right. Oh, okay then. Thank you very much for calling in. Just before we go on break, did you want to comment on any of that?
Yes, I will start with the last comment on the statement Asa Hudalo made trying to castigate the Supreme Court. He's a lawyer. He's lucky that that statement did not come before that decision of the Supreme Court. Otherwise, the Supreme Court can refer him to the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, and then he will not be made to show cause why he should not be, his name should not be struck off the roll as a legal practitioner. It does not matter whether you have an age that is as old as that of Methuselah in the profession. Our profession is known for wanting respect, for those in authority, and you don't make any attempt to bring the profession to disrepute. So I think it is for the leadership of the MB and others to look at that statement and decide how to deal with it. And just to say that this is one decision that has been unanimous from the tribunal. At the tribunal, it was 3/3 unanimous. At the Court of Appeal, it was 3/3 unanimous. And at the Supreme Court, it was 5/5 unanimous. So no sane human being. Because what were they expecting? You didn't present any evidence. You dumped machines. I think the lawyers that handled their case knew what they were doing. He paid them fees. Did they expect them to now convert that fees into legal arguments to generate evidence that they will use in securing a decision before the court? Even for a lay person, you dump evidence before the court. So what were you expecting the court to do with those beavers machines? You call only 4 witnesses. You are challenging 395. It's just simple mathematics. Simple mathematics.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, we'll take a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation looking at other areas of development in Edo State as you see fit, and we'll take it from there. Do please stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines, to Pidgin,
better country people, on a good evening.
Yoruba,
Ekaro, Ekudede Asikoyi, Shedadalabayi,
Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, sunana Rakia Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you. Faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Okay then, indeed, welcome back. Our guest is Andrew Mwanta, Special Advisor to the State Governor on legal matters. And the Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal of, the candidate of the opposition in that election. His appeal has been dismissed. That is Mr. Ighodalo. And so here we are. And as we were just being told by Mr. Mwanta, at every case, at every stage, it was a unanimous decision. And right from the beginning, 3/3, 3/3, right up to 5/5. And so what could one have expected? Tell me what the governor is going to be concentrating on now. By the way, I am seeing here that the Sokoto state government has hailed Ekpebolo's Supreme Court victory. So I imagine that there will be more of that kind of a thing, people sort of rallying and identifying with Edo State upon this, clearing of the way, to put it that way. It's now being cleared. Now it is not distracted anymore. We'll see the extent. Well, the president has advised that he should be magnanimous in victory. I wonder if this might extend to him inviting people to, see what we can do together. Do you think it could get to that extent?
Yes, I think I'll quickly address that part, because before the Supreme Court gave its decision, the governor, of course, had received some persons from the opposition, particularly the PDP. They have only one member in the House of Reps, and the person has had a private meeting with the governor, so that in the coming days you'll see PDP leaders joining us to bring development to our people. And I'm talking of next week. So we'll maybe having some breaking news here and there. And essentially, we want a situation where Edo people will see politics as transitory, but what is permanent is our states.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Politicians will come and go, but one common denominator that brings us together is Edo State. And that is what the governor is focused in doing, in bringing development to Edo people, in taking Edo from where it was. Remember when the president visited us, he said, Obaseki said Edo not be Lagos, but he wants Edo to be better than Lagos, because we talk of progressive governance. That is what the APC is known for. That's why the name of our party is All Progressives Congress. So we are going to ensure, the governor will ensure that moving forward, the only thing we will talk of, not politics, but development. Because political development is what has brought him into the office as governor. So what he now needs to do is to bring development. And if we have people in the PDP that can help us achieve it, be rest assured that we will bring all of them on board. To quickly talk about the governor's social contract with Edo people,
yes.
Section 14, sub 2 of our constitution says the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. So that his project SHINE is an acronym. The S is for security, H is for health, I is for infrastructure, N is for nutrition, which borders of agriculture and food security, then E is for education. Not just education, value-driven education. And I'll start with the last. When he came on board, he noticed that under Obaseki's Edo Best, it was software they invested so much money on. But now the government is now trying to deal with the hardware problem of schools with leaking roofs, some of them without door, without perimeter fence and what have you. So that's what the governor is doing. And also he wants to give more attention to technical and vocational education. Across the TVC News districts, ailing technical schools will be built, then vocational centers will be established. He's working with multilateral agencies. And again, you now talk of the issue of infrastructure. Over the years, we've had a situation in Benin where we have a good network of bad roads. So across communities in Benin City and other towns like Ekpoma, Aochi, and Igara, the government is ensuring that he puts all those bad roads in order. The Benin Sapler Road, the Benin Warri Road, the government is also working with the federal government to fix some of those areas and get a refund. He has done that already with the Benin Aochi Road, and that is what governance is about. Obaseki during his time will put billboards on the road. Oh, this is a federal road, bear with us. In my own local government, my local government chairman is helping to fix federal government roads. Why? Because the government has given them a high level of autonomy. Then you talk of it, I've talked about education, I've talked about, okay, let me talk about agriculture. The governor does not believe in big man agriculture. He believes in taking care of farm, small scale farmers. Is giving them inputs. That's why you saw those tractors. Those tractors, will be taken to those farm settlements. It has one in Edo South, one in Edo Central, and one in Edo North. So in those farm settlements, you encourage these small farm holders to come together in cooperative societies so that by the time they produce their farm produce, government will arrange those from the private sector that will take this farm produce so that you have a whole lot of value chains that will come into our agricultural sector. And even more than that,
I beg your pardon, sir. I beg your pardon. Andrew, I'm so sorry. But Pat in Rivers has been waiting to join the program. So let me not keep her waiting any longer. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, Pat.
Uncle Yori. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, ma'am.
Deviate from your discussion.
Please go ahead.
Kudos to President Tinubu. God really used him for making all the political enemies to come together. There's a plus for Tinubu. Then number two, people that feels maybe by serving food at the party or deceiving themselves feels that is the way to win election. If God says Mr. A will win, Mr. A will win. They should stop fooling themselves. If they lie, let them go and clean somebody's shoes. It will not work. Okay now. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you. I see you're smiling in there, Andrew. Any comments?
So should I continue? No,
yes,
no,
please.
I think what you said is a passing remark. So just to quickly wrap up what I was saying, in the health sector, the government inherited some abandoned projects, like the Stella Obasanjo that was built by the Lockheed Martin administration in 2005. Obasanjo collected so much from both the private sector and from federal allocations in trying to fix that place. But unfortunately, before he left, he claimed that he commissioned an uncompleted hospital. And as I speak to you, that place is still less than 70% complete, with this present administration has assured the people that that place will be ready in no distant future. Because you find that the consultant that did that work was paid 900 million of the taxpayers' money. Just for, 900 million, just for consultancy. And when we did our calculation, we discovered that 900 million can build 4 extra hospitals for the states.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Some of those equipment they claim they bought, they just dumped them. And so the matter is a matter before the EFCC. So because of that, certain things that would have been done are yet to be done. But the governor is not resting on that. He has his own project across the state. He's building new hospitals. And hopefully when these issues are resolved, the Stella Obasanjo facility will be ready for Edo people. And even more than that, the governor wants to establish one standard hospital across the 18 local governments of our state. The Health Insurance Commission, he has rejigged it, and Edo people can now have quality and accessible health care. Then the issue of security, which is at top, because if you don't have security, you cannot talk of development. And as such, the governor first had to quickly sign an executive bill introducing the new Edo State courtesan prohibition law. Under that law, if you are found wanting, maybe you are the owner of a premises that was used by courtists, that building will be brought down. And of course, we are trying to amend the law to allow for interim forfeiture so that you will not keep that property when that matter is under investigation. So that even as a hotel owner, you now have a duty of care, you now have a sense of diligence, a sense of vigilance, that if your facility is used by courtists, because these courtists are not ghosts, they live in homes, they go to hotels, and that is why this governor wants to deal with that problem. Because before we came in, Edo State was a crime scene. On a daily basis, you see young people, their lives were cut short. But since the governor came in, he has been able to deal with this problem of courtesan and even kidnapping. Then even our forests, just recently he set up the Edo State Livestock Control Committee, which would tend to control the activities of these killer headsmen. So this one governor that wants to give human face to governance, and for us to have good governance, there must be security. A time will come, Edo will be the safest place in Nigeria to live in. That's a promise the governor has made, and it's something that he has started achieving.
Okay. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sir Yori. Good morning, our guest. Sir Yori, see, what happened in Edo State, well, thank God for our judicial system. But I used to tell Nigeria that when something happens, we should go to the causes, not to the symptoms.
Exactly.
Okay. Mazi, are you still there? Okay. Something happened. Because Mazi, you know, they talk small like that. But, but the one sentence that he got in, I think it really summarizes very much what he was going to talk about. Okay, so I can't speak for Mazi.
I had said it earlier.
Yes.
I had said it earlier. I said the Supreme Court resolved the issue of how they lost that election. But the one question is political, because I said before the 2024 Edo State governorship election, PDP was immersed in deep crisis, right? Aswa Ighodalo was not the preferred candidate of the party. You had other persons, the Shaibus. Aslem Ojezwa was a party chairman in the APC when the governor had issued his comrade and Shomole in 2020. That man could have been a candidate of the party because he's from Edo Central, where that position was zoned to. But you just brought a rookie. Aswa Ighodalo, as a business partner of Obaseki, was not grounded in the politics of the state. He was a consultant. He was working for Obaseki as a chairman of the Alagodaro team. He was not a politician. So when you bring a rookie into politics, and you didn't tell him to run for House of Assembly, you didn't tell him to run for House of Reps, the office of governor, it is not a learning place. That was why they lost that election, because the people rejected him at the primaries, they imposed him, he went into an election, and I know people voted for a grassroots, Senator Mondo Okwevolo, who, against all odds, you know, PDP had controlled the Southern Senatorial District for a very long time. For the first time, he became a lion killer. He defeated a sitting senator of the PDP extraction. That was the first time the APC will win a senatorial election in Edo Central Senatorial District. And that is why the only member representing PDP in Edo State in the National Assembly is joining us. I have to break the ice. He's joining us.
Okay.
Why? Because we have a performing governor. We have a grassrooter who is governor of Edo State that understands the pain of the average Edo person. He understands the pain of the market woman. That's why he has decided to give them $1 billion as a sinking fund. Zero interest. It has never happened before.
Wow. Well, I guess you just, you know.
Students are also going to get bursaries. We've never had bursaries from the time of Ogbomudia. He has also approved $1 billion for students in tertiary institutions. The only criteria is that just prove that you are from Edo State and you have that bursary. This is one governor that believes in practical governance. And if all governors are like him, people will be willing to come out on election day to vote.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you sort of let a little out of the bag, a little of the cat, maybe no more than the nose of the cat, because you were just talking about them having, the PDP having just one member. Just one member.
Because he wants to be on the winning side.
So he's likely to be joining. He's likely to be joining what you are calling the winning team, right?
Very soon.
Very, very soon.
Yes, okay. Very soon. And you know, remember, the senator of my senatorial district, Edo South, just recently joined us from the Labour Party, Senator Neda Emaswe.
Okay, then.
Because the governor is performing, you know?
Yes. Okay, Mazi Okorafor has got back in again. Good morning, Mazi. Thank you for getting back in. Okay.
We thank God for today. Today is Big Friday. What I want to say is that it's not good for our governors, whether House of Assembly member, anybody, or whether local government. When you climb, do not remove the ladder. And we should look at the causes of anything, not the symptoms. Like Obaseki cases, if Obaseki had allowed the ladder without removing it, by shifting a table to one corner, they will not be going to court with the PDP to be spending their money chasing the legality of the case. That's a lesson to our governor that they today a lesson. When you are up here, that's from the world game. Tell your deputy you give him or not. If the deputy want to contest, let him go. Because all this one they are going to spending the money going to court. It's not because the other people have decided. Now tell me, in the state, you come now, you say you are building 3-story building. 3-story building, you only furnish the ground floor, second floor, and top floor is not. I was discussing with some of our colleagues here in the board meeting some minutes ago. They say that that's Nigerian pastor. I said, no, it cannot be Nigerian pastor. Look, I'm just telling the governor congratulations, but do the needful. Make it those people as you have started that to know that you are ready to do the job. Second tenor, you don't need to contest. They will tell you, come back and continue. Congratulations. Honestly speaking, Governor, so you are in the office, do not remove the ladder. Allow the ladder so that when you fall, you see where to fall down. Good morning. Have a pleasant day in Lagos. Mazu Krapo from our Abia State.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafor. Maybe we're sort of rounding down now. Could you speak to me a bit about a very expensive project talking about the roads network in Edo that was going to be given attention? Is there anything you can informally report? I realize that you're not necessarily the Commissioner for Works, but is there anything you could report on that?
Before now, Benin City has had one problem, which is flooding. And the government of Comrade Adams Shomole did a whole lot in trying to address that problem. But unfortunately, when Obaseki came on board, he didn't do much in that area. But presently, what the governor did was to get a team of experts, 4 different companies came on board to look at the problem. They want to do a study to see how they can channel out this water, this flood, water. The stormwater project Oshomole started, a continuation of it, so that when it rains in Benin, this water goes somewhere. We have many rivers that can accommodate this water. So we have a group of civil engineers and hydrologists that will deal with this problem. Then when you're now doing your road construction, you now know areas where you cannot build, because the Benin City Master Plan, there was a time it was distorted, and the immediate past administration did a whole lot in trying to plan the city, but they have not implemented. So this present administration will now look at what they did, look at what the experts that have been engaged will do, then we'll now deal with this problem of flooding. So that whenever it rains in Benin, we will not have something similar to what is happening in Texas, where lives have been lost and homes have been lost. Because in development, you must plan. We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. And the plans have been done. The governor now wants to look at the existing plans, bring experts, and see how we can channel out this water. Then more than that, the flyovers he's building is to reduce this problem of traffic, because we've always had this problem of traffic congestion within Benin City and in the environs. And the governor is doing just that. And because he does not want to be caught by this problem of contractors complaining that they don't have sufficient funds, just recently he was able to secure the approval from the House of Assembly of a bank guarantee of 100 billion. That is to say, what the bank will do is that whenever the allocations come, they do deductions, but advance payment to our contractors so that we don't have delays in road construction. And for me, that was a no-brainer. And he has a very supportive House of Assembly. I'll use the opportunity to thank the Speaker and other members of the House for the kind of support they are giving to our governor, because it takes the 3 arms coming together to achieve good governance for Edo people.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Andrew. Mr. Andrew Mwanta, Special Advisor to the Edo State Governor on legal matters, has been chatting with us on our program this morning, and we've been getting the benefit of his insights. So thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me. All
right, then. It's always our pleasure. So we're going to have to leave it there. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.
Niger, it's time to rise to victory, because season 10 is here.
Hey! That you did not come and greet. I'm coming for the crown.
Nigerian Idol needs to bang. You're actually my idol. And say yes from me. That was good.
I'm here for a revenge.
I'm speechless.
10 seasons of unforgettable talent.
That's the best performance I've had today.
10 seasons of breathtaking performances. And this year, we celebrate the journey like never before.
I'm actually speechless.
I love you.
You're a superstar.
This is more than a competition. It's a celebration of music, passion, and dreams. It's your voice and your victory. Don't miss the biggest season yet. Nigerian Idol Season 10.
Sponsored by Biggie, for every moment.
I'm Olika Oladipo, Business Development Manager for Impex Traco West Africa Limited. I've been a client with Cornerstone since January 2015. I would say that Cornerstone has been very important to our business in 2 ways. Number one, I don't hit people, but when my car is hit, I'm sure that Cornerstone will cover me conveniently without any stress. That's on a personal note. Then on the general business side, because marine insurance is important to our business, they're always up and doing with that. I've not had any reason to complain once. What has impressed me the most with Cornerstone is the personal touch. Anytime there is an incident with my car, the first question I'll be asking is, "Are you okay?" Because the first thing is I have to be alive. And that gives me some level of balance with them that these guys have got my back. Cornerstone has changed my orientation with insurance in this part of the world. They have changed my mentality.
Cornerstone, the future assured.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Jackson, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
I'm Angelou, Business Development Manager for Promotional West Africa Limited. I've been a client with Cornerstone since January.
There is always more to a story than the scrimmaged line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Every major news story is with
Hello and thanks for joining us. So this is TVC Midday News. We begin in the nation's capital. The House of Representatives has cleared the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company of corruption allegations raised by a civil society group. At its resumed hearing, the Subcommittee on Protection of Critical National Assets said no funds were misappropriated. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
In a petition before the House Committee on Public Assets, the Association for Public Policy Analysis, through its president, Prince Will Okore, accused NEMCO of misappropriation of funds, shady operations, among sundry allegations. It also questioned the continued existence of NEMCO 12 years after its privatization.
Investigation of
At the resumed public hearing, NEMCO defended an allegation that it spent 94 million naira on a 5-day retreat in Lagos, insisting there was no diversion of funds whatsoever.
And then went to the Honourable Minister, who's the chairman of our board, went to the Federal Executive Council and got the approval of Mr. President. for us to purchase the property. So we have our FEC approval, we have BPP approval, we have board approval, and the property has been purchased. So we do now have a permanent office.
The chairman of the committee, Dabo Ismail, said the allegation was worrisome, forcing the panel to immediately launch a comprehensive investigation. NEMCO's existence is backed by the provisions of the Nigerian Electricity Act 2023, and so the panel dismissed the position of the petitioner that the agency ought to have folded up in 2017 after the privatization of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria.
And they have given us the documents, all the approvals. The only thing we can do as Parliament is to request for whether she have followed due process or not. And what is the due process? She cannot approve anything for herself.
If the money was appropriated, what that means, at some point they brought this thing to us. We approved it. I don't think at this point we should start going back.
The committee affirmed that all documents relating to the 5-day retreat, including payments made for logistics, were submitted by the agency during its investigation. It also dismissed the petitioner's claim of a purchase of office in the north by the agency. The committee urged the petitioner to feel free to come forward with other subsequent findings, promising that it will do justice to every petition submitted before it in the interest of Nigerians. Joke Yetsa, TVC News, Abuja.
In other news, the Federal Capital Territory Administration is raising concerns over a disturbing trend of families allegedly renting out their children to beggars in Abuja. According to the FCTA, children as young as 8 trafficked into the city aboard cargo trailers from the north. Acting Director of Social Welfare, Gloria Omuka, revealed this during a sweep operation that led to the arrest of 210 beggars, and they are 80 men, 58 women, and 72 children. Those apprehended were taken to a rehabilitation center in Buhari, profiled, and sent back to their states of origin. She noted that the facility is equipped with basic amenities to support reintegration. The FCTA says the minister, Nyesom Wike, has ordered a total cleanup of street begging and criminality in Abuja. Officials say the operation will be sustained until the capital is free of child begging and related crimes. And now to other stories now. Police in Zamfara State have arrested a suspected armed bandit, 2 gun runners, and several criminal collaborators. They recovered items which include AK-47 rifles, locally made guns, live ammunition, and a truck linked to a bandit kingpin, also loaded with suspected India hemp. The report.
This is not the first time police in Zamfara State is arresting indigents involved in banditry activities, a sad development that has continued to worsen the security situation in the state, despite efforts by government and security agencies at all levels. In the recent successes achieved by the police, suspected armed bandits, gun runners and bandit collaborators from the state were arrested while trying to supply weapons and live ammunition to their paymasters.
Police detectives acted on credible intelligence and successfully apprehended Ibrahim Muhammad, a 50-year-old of Kanuma village on Damaru local government area of Zamfara State, who is suspected to be an armed bandit and a representative for arms deal in the region. A patrol team attached to the tactical unit of the command intercepted Tukur Awal, 27 years old, of Sakakadin village of Birnin Magaji local government area, while he was concealing 2 locally made rifles in a rag.
A canter truck belonging to a bandit kingpin used for the transportation of his farm produce to various weekly markets within and outside Zamfara, and large cache of dry leaves suspected to be Indian hemp meant for delivery to bandit camps were also intercepted. Also, a car theft and phone snatcher were apprehended by security forces.
While on surveillance patrol along Gusau-Gumi Road, encountered with a group of armed bandits along Munhai-Anka Road. Upon sighting the police, the armed bandit immediately opened fire engaged the police in a gun battle that lasted for about an hour. The command tactical teams intercept a counter truck suspected to be owned by a bandit kingpin.
This feat, achieved by the Zamfara Police Command, is coming a few days after a wanted bandit leader, Bello Turji, released a new video which has gone viral on social media, expressing his willingness to dialogue with Zamfara and the federal government on ways to surrender his arms and toe the path of peace.
In the meantime, the Nigeria Police Force has deployed Mohammed Dahiru as the new Commissioner of Police in Jigawa State. As the 24th Commissioner of Police in the state, Dahiru says he will focus on strengthening interagency cooperation, community partnerships, and intelligence-led policing while upholding human rights. He is also appealing to traditional rulers, religious leaders, and civil society groups to support efforts to sustain peace and security across Jigawa. In other news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is calling for stronger stakeholder collaboration to close the gaps exploited by fraudulent investment operators. EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede made the appeal while marking Africa Anti-Corruption Day. Kemi Foladiemo has more.
The stakeholders at this lecture organized by the new Lagos Zonal Directorate 2 include commercial banks representatives, the virtual assets industry, civil society groups, licensed bureau d'échange operators, and core members. The EFCC boss Ola Olukoyede is concerned at the emerging threat of assets and investment scams across Africa, which he says could outpace money laundering, which is currently the highest form of illicit financial flows in the continent. He adds that though not fundamentally criminal, virtual assets are now being exploited by fraudulent politicians and other individuals.
Fraudulent politicians are already perfecting schemes and hiding their loot in cryptocurrencies to beat the investigative dragnets of anti-corruption agencies. Stolen funds and unexplained wealth are being warehoused in wallets, and the payments for services are being done through this window. Investment schemes are also being facilitated through it.
We encourage that if there are cases that have to do with cyber-related offenses, make the police their brothers, their partners in progress. For the EFCC equally, who have done this time and again, and our track record is undisputable.
We gather intelligence through the electronic means, through the STRs and CTRs that are filed with FIU and returns that made to SCUMAL and whatever information that our informants come across.
At a related event, the director of the agency's Lagos Zonal Directorate 1 advises intending investors to be adequately informed about virtual assets so as to avoid being defrauded.
Ask questions. Even open search, as easy as that can be, can help. Because you see, some of these schemes and some of these companies that come up, you could actually go back to check. You know, just that search could tell you, oh, has this particular company been investigated or not been investigated? You will be able to get information from there.
It is hoped that these engagements will foster collaboration that will build public trust and awareness, as well as dismantle criminal syndicates hampering Nigeria's and Africa's growth. Kemi Foladiemo, TVC News, Lagos.
And away from that, Nigeria's hospitality and tourism industry now has a dedicated tribunal to handle disputes and enforce standards. This follows the inauguration of the Hospitality, Tourism and Travel Tribunal in line with the Establishment Act by the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism. Retired Chief Judge of the FCT, Ishaq Bello, was appointed as chairman of the tribunal. He will lead a 4-member panel, including tourism experts like Steve Ayorinde and Nanta President Bolaji Mustafa. The tribunal will handle professional misconduct, licensing issues, and consumer complaints, helping to raise standards across the industry. Naihoto's DG Abisoye Fagade says the move is a bold step towards greater accountability and global best practices in Nigeria's tourism space. We'll take a break now and return with more stories in just a moment. Stay with us.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Power, politics, and accountability on fireworks. No seat is too high, no question too hard. If they hold an office, they are on the hot seat. If they have power, they answer to the people and answer the hard questions.
Only strong men lead, not weak men who don't have knowledge, who don't have capacity, who don't have access.
This is not just talk. This is fireworks.
Corruption started corruption in when you cannot send your animal to where they train police officers.
No filter, no favoritism, no fear, no holds barred, unbiased, unafraid, unfiltered.
Why should people elected into office and are being funded by the treasury of the state and then their salary and allowances will be treated in secrecy?
Fireworks, only on TVC News.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thanks for staying with us on TVC Midday News. Let's now turn attention to politics. Ahead of the Chinku-Kajuru by-election scheduled for the 16th of August, an APC aspirant says his ambition is driven by a commitment for inclusive development and responsive governance. He's urging constituents to support the APC for meaningful change in the region. Lupe has some reports.
Residents of Angon Kufana in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State are now breathing a sigh of relief after years of struggling with access to clean drinking water. Their long-standing challenge has now been addressed with the provision of a functional borehole by House of Representative aspirant under the APC, Yakubu Waziri.
And almost all the time, before you get water in your house, it's really hard because we used to go to far distance for us to get water to use in our various houses. So we are very grateful for this great kind gesture that you people brought onto us.
One of the best gestures for now to support our people, mostly like what you have said, issue of waterborne diseases, issue of insecurity and other, mostly in the dry season, you'll find out that to get water and even some wells that borehole that they have dig here is a problem.
With 5,000 liter capacity tank, to be able to actually assuage the challenges of water shortages, especially during the dry season.
The gesture comes months after the death of Ekene Adams, who represented Kajuru Chukun Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, leaving his seat vacant. As the Independent National Electoral Commission sets August 16, 2024 for a by-election to fill the position, political activities have begun to gather momentum. Waziri, who is vying for the APC ticket, says his ambition is anchored on the promise of inclusive development and responsive governance.
By the time we get there, all what we have itemized, we will be able to actually achieve and, of course, accomplish them by the grace of God. When the time of election comes, please, they should come out en masse and vote for APC, for His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCON, Senator Bola Tinubu, and then, of course, vis-a-vis our able governor, Senator Malo Ubasani, come 2027.
With the by-elections fast approaching, communities like Angwan Kufana may now become central to conversations about grassroots needs, leadership accountability, and the role of service in earning public trust. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
And still talking politics, the African Democratic Congress has dismissed reports suggesting that leaders of a political coalition have taken over the party, describing them as false and misleading. Speaking after a meeting with the 37 state chairman of the party in Abuja, the interim National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said the gathering was convened to dismiss rumors that the state chairman had been sidelined or removed. Chairman of the ADC Forum of State Chairmen, Kogi State Chairman Kingsley Oga, reinforced the leadership stance, stressing that the state chairman had been carried along throughout the coalition process.
What the chairman has assured them, Senator David Mark, is that we have not come to ADC to push all of them aside or to push them aside. We are here as partners, as equal partners, and we are willing to work with them to build a formidable coalition, a formidable party that will achieve the mandate that we have set for ourselves, which is to rescue Nigeria from the ruling party.
As a senator, I'm totally and completely committed to ADC. But obviously, as the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, don't expect me to just take a lunch break and go and collect card. I want to do so with noise and fanfare. Do you accept that?
We have been on this process almost 2 years now. We have been carrying along, they carry us along, what they are going to do, how they are going to do it. We sit down together, we brainwash together. That is how we did before we come to this particular point where we are now.
And to other stories, a global leader in consumer electronics and home appliances, LG Electronics, has launched a revolutionary mood-up refrigerator into the Nigerian market. At the launch of the product in Lagos, the company said it will transform the modern kitchen with an innovative blend of cutting-edge technology, customizable features, and a bold, vibrant design. We have details in this report.
The introduction of the mood-up refrigerator to the Nigerian markets by LG Electronics is aimed at transforming kitchens into dynamic hubs of color, music, and smart living.
LG is one of the electronic company, which not only offers the electronic goods, we are offering everyday lifestyle to the consumers, which make the consumers happier and more delight. That's our inspiration to make the mood-up refrigerator.
LG reaffirmed its commitment to delivering innovation that truly resonates with the dynamic Nigerian lifestyle in appreciation of the vibrant spirit, boundless creativity, and love for celebrating life's moments. The mood-up refrigerator embodies the same energy, giving families the freedom to express themselves through color and music right in the heart of the home.
In these days, the kitchen, the structure is changed. I mean, the kitchen is the new trend. That means the housewife, when they cooking the food for their family, they can every housewife can enjoy the cooking with the music and some new color changing refrigerator.
Just AI app that enables you control all your home appliances and home entertainment products from the comfort of your phone. For example, for your mood-up refrigerator, you could actually, if you have the ThinQ installed on your phone, you could change the different color themes. It has got over 170,000 colors, right? You could actually showcase your mood. It blends into any home interior. Now, apart from that, it also comes with the Bluetooth function that enables you enjoy songs, be it in the kitchen, in the living room, and then this is something revolutionary that no other brand has actually done before.
Enhanced by AI and ThinQ connectivity, the mood-up offers seamless control and monitoring through the LG ThinQ app, delivering an elevated blend of convenience, precision, and style that complements the modern connected lifestyle.
And still on technology, in a major step towards safer digital spaces, the Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative has launched her Safe Space, an AI-powered chatbot designed to combat tech-facilitated gender-based violence across West Africa. It provides real-time support for women and girls facing online abuse. Senior reporter Habida Lawal reports.
In an era where the internet has become a vital platform for communication, education and activism, the alarming prevalence of gender-based violence in digital spaces has prompted urgent action. Advocates, tech companies and policymakers are joining forces to create safe online environments aimed at protecting individuals from online harassment, abuse and violence, particularly against women and gender minorities. Beyond the chat box, Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative has also introduced a suite of knowledge products on technology-facilitated gender-based violence.
Why we are here this morning, not to launch just another piece of technology, but to affirm a fundamental truth that every woman and every girl deserves dignity, safety, and respect online as much as offline. As one of the 2025 laureates of the Laboratory for Women's Rights Online, which is an initiative founded by the Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs through Expertise France.
It's important to create an opportunity for people to know about this tool and how it can be used. Sometimes we create solutions that people don't know about. And for us, we will continue to work with Brain Builders to create avenues and opportunities for these solutions to be known and for it to be used, so that we can continue to change the tide in our country.
Over the past decade, reports of online harassment, doxing and cyberstalking have surged, disproportionately affecting women and marginalized groups.
This is exactly what Friends stand for through its feminism diplomacy. We believe that gender equality must guide our diplomacy, our partnerships, and our use of digital innovation.
Moving forward, the collaborative efforts from government, corporations and grassroots organizations are critical in building a safer digital environment. With increased awareness and proactive strategies, stakeholders hope to foster respectful online interactions and mitigate the impact of gender-based violence. Habib Alawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, Delta State is making big moves in the education sector and is all under Governor Sheriff Oborewori's watch. In just 2 years, the governor has approved the hiring of over 600 academic and non-academic staff across state-owned tertiary institutions. And that's according to the Commissioner for Higher Education, Professor Inyerewo Tonukari, who says the investment is paying off. And not only are new buildings going up from faculty blocks to staff residences, but universities in Delta State are also expanding fast, with over 40 new academic programs and more than 90,000 students now enrolled. Professor Tonukari also cleared the air on the recent suspension of the Delta State Polytechnic Rector in Ogwashuku, Professor Emmanuel Achuenu, saying only the governor, not the governing council, has that authority. He praised the governor's commitment to education, stating that Delta lecturers are well paid and immune to national strike. And that's TVC News, TVC Media News. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website, www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we're live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.
Angelou was a civil rights activist, poet, and award-winning author known for her acclaimed 1969 memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and her numerous poetry and essay collections. Angelou was born on April 4, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. Angelou had a difficult childhood. Her parents split up when she was very young. Around the 1960s, Angelou lived in Ghana working as an editor and a freelance writer. Angelou also held a position at the University of Ghana for a time before she joined a community of revolutionist returnees exploring Pan-Africanism and became close with human rights activist and black nationalist leader Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. In 1961, Angelou appeared in an off-Broadway production of Jean Genet's The Blacks with James L. Jones, Lou Gossett Jr. and Cicely Tyson, and went on to earn a Tony Award nomination for her role in the play Look Away 1973 and an Emmy Award nomination for her work on the television miniseries Roots 1977, among other honors. Angelou's career has seen numerous accolades, including the Chicago International Film Festival's 1998 Audience Choice Award and a nod from the Acapulco Black Film Festival in 1999 for Down in the Delta. She published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of plays, movies, more than 50 honorary degrees, and
It is time for consolidation of recovery efforts in Borno State, devastated by years of insurgency and terror. From security to education, health, agriculture, infrastructure, and housing, every sector has continued to bear the stamp of Zulum's visionary leadership. Join us on Borno Restoration as we track, showcase, and analyze developmental strides of Professor Babagana Zulum and his overwhelming care for the vulnerable. Borno Restoration on TVC News every Saturday at 8 p.m. It's time to restore.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Mankind has lived with art since creation, and we've been bringing into existence and enjoying art. Now, art gives us the innovative way to view the world. It motivates and strengthens our emotion. Welcome to another time out on the Art Express. Today on Gallery, My Dream is proud to present an exhibition by Wallace Ejo titled Dipped in Chocolate, which beyond its aesthetic appeal aims to encourage our youth, particularly our young women, to celebrate their identity and the beauty of dark skin, embracing its symbolism. Let's go there.
Today's exhibition is titled Dipped in Chocolate. That's the title, Dipped in Chocolate. My works mostly celebrate the African woman, the black woman, and that's why also the title of this exhibition is Dipped in Chocolate. It's to celebrate the beauty of the African woman, dark complexion. It's also to encourage the African woman to stay true to their natural complexion. That is, if you are dark in complexion, you stay dark. If you are light in complexion, you stay light.
artist, Wallace Edgell, has a tradition of celebrating African beauty. And you see the various works that are on display today. It's the African beauty in various settings, and the comfortability of the African women in various scenarios. Whether she is playing the violin, whether she's, she's the urban fashionista, the urban fashionista. The African woman, the modern African woman, is everything elegant, is everything beautiful, is everything powerful, is everything agency, takes her own space without apology. And I love that.
Wallace Edgell's Deep in Chocolate is a celebration of African women's identity and strength. His choice of the chocolate brown palette is deeply symbolic as it reflects the elegance and resilience of our dark African skin. Edgell is widely regarded as one of Nigeria's finest painters. His works often challenge negative racial constructs. He presents his subjects, usually women, with assertive gazes, demanding recognition, admiration, and respect. Through his chocolate brown palette, Edgell masterfully conveys the narrative that he has become well known for.
Well, African, we have our own natural beauty. All I'm trying to say here is about beauty. We have our own African beauty. I try to celebrate that in my works. For example, you don't find my models using European wigs. So I'm against that in my paintings. It's either they are putting on a traditional African hairstyle or traditional African, headgear, or maybe they are putting on Afro. But you can't find anything like I don't paint ladies with having European hairstyles or maybe Brazilian wigs. If there is anybody with wig, it has to be an Afro. The Afro is for us African. It's only the African woman that can that you find having an Afro hairdo.
Today's exhibition is titled Dipped in Chocolate. Dipped in Chocolate, an exhibition of paintings by Wallace Edgell. Wallace Edgell, a master artist. Yeah, so it's a privilege that my dream gallery is exhibiting his work. I've always wanted his work to be exhibited at my dream gallery. I've always wanted. Whenever I see him, I'm like, I need to have your work in my collection. And he's like, yeah, you should have my work in your collection, but can you afford me? Well, there's nothing God cannot do. We can afford you. And yes, we are excited that this is a dream come true for us. And the fact that this exhibition specifically is different from every other one that is done. The title is different, the color palette is different, but most of his models, they are fair in complexion, but he intentionally changed their color skin tone to that of a brown skin. So, and that's why I said he has limited color palette, limited brown color palette. And and it turned out amazingly well. If you look around, look at all the works, you can tell that the works are quite different. And his brush strokes, oh God, they're amazing. They are really amazing works. So yes, we cannot express how excited we are. We're going to express it enough, actually. This one behind me, it's a series, dress code 1 and 2. You can tell that they have this yellow ochre color scheme with gele, like Owambe kind of outfits, Iro and Buba. Yeah, so the title is dress code. So that's why, I guess he has a reason for titling it that way. That's why he made it series. So this is a series of dress code. These are the only yellow paintings here. Every other works have different colors, but this is specifically made it brown, yellow, ochre, and all family of chocolate brown color. I've known Mr. Edgell for a couple of years. In fact, I am a proud student of his, and it's been such an inspiration to myself and many other artists, young artists, and So Mr. Ejo is he's a human in every sense of the word, and I'm so grateful for today's exhibition. And it is amazing that his works reflect the kind of person that he is. So calm, so intuitive. As you look around, you feel the soul in every piece, and that is the kind of person he is. And I'm so amazed that his works show the kind of person that he truly is. Mr. Ejo is amazing. He's a phenomenal human. That's the best I can say.
Back, still on gallery. Now, under the inspiring theme of resigning for tomorrow, the Lagos Leather Festival is poised to revolutionize the African leather scene, gathering visionary leaders, master artisans, pioneering entrepreneurs, and key industry figures to map out an exciting new era for the leather craftsmanship on the continent. Now, let's take a trip down to the Bambora Event Center where it all took place.
My name is Temitope Ogundolakwa, and I'm the creative director and founder of Kibade Toa. We're a footwear brand that's made in Nigeria, and we specialize in making comfortable shoes that fit your personal style and preference. Our shoes are bold and they make you feel empowered and stylish. So being a part of the leather fair, I've been a part of it 4 times in a row, and it's been an amazing experience. Coming into a room full of creativity from across the continent, and just being here able to tell our stories, people coming, interacting with our brand. I think it's a very beautiful thing, and I'm really appreciative of this platform.
I think the Lagos Leather Fair exhibition has been fantastic. This is mind-blowing, right? Because when I came, I went into the main hall, the sessions, right? And then I was like, okay, let me check out the exhibition, and this really has blown my mind. I'm impressed by the organization. I'm impressed by the creativity of young people here. But Lagos Leather Fair is mind-blowing. It's fantastic. If you missed out this year, you absolutely should not miss out next year. This is really amazing. And I love the fact that Lagos Leather Fair is promoting young people, promoting creativity, and we need more of this. This is amazing.
The exhibition has been great so far. Tender Leather Care has a variety of products. We have the leather cleaner, we have the leather conditioner, we have the leather hydro guard, and we have a leather power cleaner for your car interiors and your leather furniture in your houses. The leather cleaner cleans every stain off your shoes, bags, belts, except ink marks. The leather conditioner maintains and polishes your leather, gives it some sort of shine, and also nourishes your leather. The leather hydro guard protects your leather from water. So when water pours on your leather, it doesn't seep into your leather but flows down.
Lagos Leather Fair is a vibrant and inspiring showcase of Nigeria's rich leather craftsmanship. With its dynamic exhibitions, interactive conversations, and workshops, captivating runway shows, the fair serves as a platform for fostering creativity, innovation, and economic growth within the leather industry. Since its groundbreaking launch in 2017, LLF has evolved beyond just an annual event into a powerful catalyst for innovation and international recognition of African leather brands. This year's fair takes an unprecedented leap forward, not just showcasing talent, but delivering solutions, empowering leatherpreneurs to navigate challenges and assert their rightful place on the global stage.
I call them functional works of art. They're moving art. For example, I use a lot of patchwork mix. Let me show this. Patchwork mix, it shows the layered identity of the African continent. So there are many tribes, many nations in Africa, but we're united. There's unity in diversity, and that's why I showed with this one. And then see the beaded mask, you know, is peculiar to Benin people. You know, but I traveled all the way to Benin for the first time ever, just to get this done. So, and then it's a collaboration of three different kinds of artisans. We have the wood carver, the beader, and then the leather craftsman. So I love to tell African stories with my work. You know, anybody seeing this it evokes the colors of our festivals, and it screams African pride, cultural pride. So I love to tell stories of Africa. So this was inspired by northern embroidery. So anybody who is familiar with the north, they know this embroidery is a signature embroidery. So, and then of course the north